Blessed day. I ain't made a video in a while. I was up this morning and I was looking at a video, and a video that I looked at, the lady was talking about how, those in power, those in the entertainment industry, how they're not speaking about what's going on in society today. Well, let's look at it this way, and this is my opinion, like most of my videos. Do your own research. Understand that our lives are up under a microscope, and the microscope are for the elite, right? And so they can look into our lives and take what they feel is beneficial to them. So they use our lives, no matter how bad or whatever a person is going through, I should say. So they take this free information, this free material, and they put it in books, they put it in music, they put it in movies, they put it in scripts, they put it in plays. You would think we would have just as much value as they are, or what they have. But that's not true. Look at the world as a big honeycomb, right? And we're just worker bees. That's what we are. Especially in the United States, we're just worker bees for the elite. And they burglarize our privacy and they do what they want. And that's just how it is. No one's going to stop them from doing what they want to do. And again, we're entertainment for the entertainment industry. And so for them to say something would basically be biting the hand to feed them. So why would they say anything? That's my opinion on it. I think there's a lot of people that might have the same understanding as I do, far as our privacy and our lives being burglarized. We look at the internet, we look at our technology, and we just have relinquished so much of our freedom through technology. And for God's sakes, I talked to a friend of mine, and we talk about these gaming systems and things of this nature. He bought his son a game, and I told him, it's not like the games we once had back in the 80s and stuff like that, right? The technology, it makes it accessible for these people to interact with our children through these gaming systems. And you might say, well, why is that, or how is that? I'm going to give you a little piece of the conversation I had with this individual. Well, if you look back in the 70s and the 80s, and this might disturb some people, but I'm sorry. Look back in the 70s and 80s, and you look at a lot of the killers, right? People that you did a lot of killing around the United States and things of this nature. And a lot of them was older white men. And so now we're going to move forward to the 20s, right? To this year, to this day. You look at a lot of the killings that goes on, there's a lot of children. They're doing a lot of killings. They go into these schools and they're, murdering classmates, teachers, or whoever. And most of them are gamers. I could stake my life on it. When things like this happen, when natures of the school killings and like things of this nature happen, right? They never talk about what led up to the situation. What led up to this child going out, killing their classmates and going to the school and just doing these unthinkable acts. They don't want to talk about it because you have to dig a little bit deeper, right? It's on the surface. You don't have to dig that far. If people just wake up and stop being led, stop being sheep, and start thinking for themselves, you will see what's causing the problems in America today. And a lot of it is the elite. It's the problem. And we create our own problems because, we're so ready to shun or hurt or put a label on somebody else. So that way, our darkness don't come to light. You know what I mean? That's the way everything is ran. Right? Look at that person. Don't look at me. You know what I mean? So that's the same way in entertainment industry. That's the same thing with our technology. We know what's happening. A lot of people know what's happening, and a lot of people don't want to discuss it, right? Because they feel safe. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be bullied. They don't want to be the one that's shunned. They don't want to be the ones that's placed on the out, and not the in. And that's the thing with people. We're selfish. We're very selfish. We don't think about our neighbors. We don't really think about the people that's going through a lot of stuff that, people go through. Long as it's not happening to me, it's fine. That's That's the way most people think. But the truth of it is, going back to, the beginning of this conversation, when you're dealing with the elite and you're dealing with these people of status, of power, in the entertainment world, they can't say anything. They'll bite the hand that feed them. Where you think they get all these movie scripts from? Where you think they get all this music from? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying 100% of it, but a good majority of it is because your lives are being burglarized. Look at on a smaller level. Look what people are capable to do with your telephones, with the computers. That's just on a little small level. Now think on a larger level. You understand, with the satellite dishes, with all these type of things, right? We need to start waking up and being honest with ourselves. And start just, you know, stop being the hand, that somebody want to put something in, and just get it for yourself. You know what I mean? Start caring about people. Start caring about the earth. Start caring about the world. And what goes on with it. And just not be a problem. Don't be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution. Y'all stay blessed.